I'm sure you're following closely things in Sri Lanka, and I know that the Prime Minister Ranil spoke to the managing director, but he asked to expedite the program, and I wanted to know where things stand. That's my most pressing question for today.
Okay, thanks very much, Matthew, for keeping it very succinct. Is there, again, Sri Lanka very much in the news? Is there another question on Sri Lanka? Give me a wave if you're on Sri Lanka. I'm seeing Shabtai and Anna. Shabtai, go ahead, then Anna.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll go just quickly, just to add to what Matthew's asking here. The government today is talking about $5 billion in needs. Does the IMF have any assessment of what they will actually need in terms of not only what the status is on the package, but what package are we talking about and what size of the needs? Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Shabtai. Anna, come on in. Unfortunately, we're not hearing you, Anna. At least I'm not. Sorry about that. Oh, there you go.
I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a three-pronged question. Wondering whether the Sri Lankan government's aim to finalize a staff-level agreement within a month is actually feasible. And then how much progress has been made towards agreeing on a reform program and sustainability analysis. If you could share the key sticking points on that. And finally, does the fund plan to send a mission to Sri Lanka anytime?
Okay, thanks, Anna. Let me take one more on Sri Lanka from Panitha Amarasekere from Ceylon today, saying the Prime Minister called upon the IMF to hold a conference to help unite Sri Lanka's lending partners, including China, India, Japan. What's your view? And along the lines of Anna and others, the question about when the timing of when a program might be coming forward. So let me try and take that clutch of questions on Sri Lanka. Clearly a great deal of interest there. And clearly Sri Lanka facing very difficult economic conditions and severe balance of payments problems. We are deeply concerned about the impact of the ongoing crisis, and particularly, again, the humanitarian concern, the impact on people, and particularly the poor and the vulnerable groups. So we are monitoring that situation very closely. Try and respond to your specific questions. We are planning, the IMF is planning an in-person mission to Colombo in the coming weeks to engage on policy discussions on the program, building on the technical discussions that we already held with the authorities in Sri Lanka. That was back in May. We've talked about that, and there was a press release actually at that time. The timing of a staff level agreement would depend in part on the strength of the policies that the authorities would propose and would commit to. And again, I emphasized staff level agreement just for those of you who don't follow the IMF so closely. That's different from the approval that we must have from our board, which follows the staff level agreement. We have the staff level agreement, and then it goes forward to our board, and it's our executive directors who make the final decision. And because Sri Lanka's debt is assessed as unsustainable, which again we've said here before, our board approval for any program would require adequate assurances that debt sustainability would be restored, which was the point Anna was touching on as well. You may have noted in the media that Kristalina Georgieva, our managing director, had a phone call meeting on Tuesday with the Prime Minister, and they discussed next steps for the IMF's engagement with Sri Lanka. and the managing director reaffirmed our commitment to support Sri Lanka at this very difficult time. Again, very concerned about the situation, the high global food and energy prices and their impact on the Sri Lankan people. And you know, we are engaging as much as we can, as actively as we can, to see how we can help. But again, too early for us to discuss magnitude of potential financing or a specific date for either the staff level agreement or when this might go to the board. And again, just returning maybe to Anna's question, which is important on the debt, and a reminder that when the IMF determines that a country's debt is not sustainable, the country then needs to take steps to restore debt sustainability before we can move forward with a financing program.